For joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. We begin with some breaking news tonight. Spokane police currently investigating a shooting at Regal and Wellesley. Here's what we know so far. When police arrived, they say they found one man had been shot. He's been taken to the hospital with what are described as non-life-threatening injuries. At this hour, SPD reports they do not have any suspect information, but they say there is no direct threat to the community. This is a developing story. We will bring you any updates as soon as we learn more. Tune in to KREM 2 News at 11 tonight for those updates. And new tonight, it is one of the most unique and recognizable structures in downtown Spokane, and soon the Parkade could be placed on Spokane's Register of Historic Places. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk reports.
Built in 1967, the Parkade was designed to attract shoppers and businesses to downtown Spokane in the post-World War II boom, as residents moved to outlying suburbs where strip malls and shopping centers were popping up. Decades later, it's still a popular place to park and get a little dizzy. Next week, Spokane City Council members are expected to add the Parkade to Spokane's Register of Historic Places, as recommended by the Spokane Historical Landmarks Commission. Once listed, the Parkade could be eligible for property tax abatement, facade improvement grants, and special code considerations. The owner of the parking garage, GT Mukilteo LLC, has agreed to follow guidelines for maintaining historic buildings and must get permission from the Historic Landmarks Commission before any demolition, change in use, or any work that affects the exterior appearance of the Parkade. The parking garage held a grand reopening last month. Since the spring of 2021, crews have been repairing the concrete floors and ceilings, which have suffered from years of salty moisture from snowmelt dripping off vehicles. Construction crews also installed new lighting and gave the structure a fresh coat of paint. Council members are expected to approve the Parkade's application during Monday night's meeting. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Also new tonight, a big conviction for a cryptocurrency billionaire. After 2 weeks of testimony, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has been found guilty on all 7 counts of fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. The 31-year-old faces up to 20 years in prison. A U.S. attorney said Bankman-Fried committed one of the biggest frauds in American history by siphoning off $8 billion of customer money. The Post Falls police officer who died of a heart attack while on duty will be laid to rest this weekend. Nicholas McDaniel's funeral will be held this Saturday in Post Falls. The family has asked for privacy as they mourn. There will be no public access to the funeral. Community members who wish to show support are asked to gather along the procession route between Real Life Ministries and the Evergreen Cemetery. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. The latest in the quadruple murder case against Brian Koberger tonight. Earlier today, a judge set a deadline for prosecutors to hand over key evidence in that case. Koberger is accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students 1 year ago. Investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, has played a huge part in this case. Court documents show investigators used IgG to link Koberger to the crime scene. And Judge John Judge set a deadline of December 1st for the state to turn over all of its genetic testing. He wants to view it privately to determine what to turn over to Koberger's defense team. The judge says he wants to see everything the FBI and state have and then go from there. Well, it's been 4 months since a wildfire swept through Winona, Washington. That fire burned part of a local railroad, the Palouse-Cooley City Line. Well, today WashDOT held a ceremony to celebrate the reopening of the railroad. It's a vital connector in local agriculture, and knowing its importance to the region, WashDOT moved quickly to get that service back on track. Repairs took less than 2 months. Election Day is now less than a week away. Early ballots have started to come in, and so far Spokane County has seen a small percentage of young voters who have returned their ballots. Only about 5% have been returned from voters aged 18 to 24, compared to nearly 38% of voters aged 65 and older. Spokane County Auditor Vicki Dalton says she's a bit disheartened by the trend.
Younger voters have the most at stake. The people that are being elected are making decisions which will impact their future.
With only 5 days until the election, the county auditor recommends getting your ballot in sooner rather than later. You can drop them off at your closest library or at the county elections office. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, let's talk weather now. Another wet day across the inland northwest. More rain is in the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagu joining us now. And Jeremy, you're saying, though, we might get one dryish day tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and it's emphasis on the ish. It's one of those days that might not necessarily feel the driest. For instance, it hasn't really rained in hours, but if you drive down the roads, you're probably going to need the windshield wipers from time to time with just how much moisture is in the atmosphere. Temperature of 44, dew point of 42 says fog is likely overnight, and we likely wake up to some of that fog early tomorrow morning. Most of our moisture up in the mountains, and that is moving out as we speak. Things are winding down and clearing out. Wake up to a little bit of fog. Tomorrow it's a mix of clouds and sun. I think clouds kind of win that battle, but eventually we see our next round of moisture move in. It starts before the sun comes up Saturday, and then those showers persist through much of the day, eventually tapering off in the afternoon and evening. And then it looks like Sunday's another day of scattered showers. So tomorrow's our best break in the action. A low of 40 in the morning means you can get outside and take advantage of it. 51 in the afternoon, and then rain and more rain.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Well, a lot of questions tonight after a Spirit Lake woman was found dead in her apartment following a police shooting. Police responded to a mental health call just after 6 last night near 41st and Jefferson. Authorities say a police officer fired their weapon on arrival, but it's unclear right now if the woman was shot. Then there was a SWAT standoff forcing nearby apartments to evacuate. Well, just this afternoon, deputies say the woman was found dead in her apartment. It is still under investigation exactly how she died. One man was arrested after police say he shot at them in Lewiston this morning. Just before 2 o'clock this morning, police say they tried to pull over a car for a traffic stop, but that driver refused to stop. That's when police say the driver shot at the officers. Additional law enforcement was called in, and that driver was taken into custody. The suspect was injured, but police are not releasing details about how he got hurt. An East Valley High School teacher has been again charged with trying to shoot his ex-wife. Deputies say Benjamin Hill shot at his ex-wife's house while she was inside during a drive-by shooting last year. He is also facing charges for shooting at her car twice before. Hill has been placed on administrative leave by the school district since his first arrest. He is set to be arraigned on these new charges next Tuesday. Taking a look at the latest from the Middle East right now, 74 Americans were able to escape the Gaza Strip today. President Joe Biden said work continues to get even more people out. It is believed there are between 500 and 600 U.S. citizens still trapped there. A list released by Gaza's Hamas-controlled Interior Ministry had the names of 400 American nationals who were approved to cross over the border into Egypt in the coming days. The U.S. House of Representatives tonight passed a military aid package for Israel, but it's unlikely to survive the Senate. The almost $15 billion package has to be paid for with cuts in government spending. It's far less than the more than $100 billion that President Biden requested, which includes money for Ukraine and the southern border wall. Well, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has already said the bill stands no chance of passing the Senate, and President Biden said that he will veto it. A mother and son have been charged with kidnapping after the pair allegedly took the son's underage girlfriend to Oregon for an abortion. According to court documents, the girl became pregnant earlier this year while living with the mother and son. The girl said she was happy when she found out she was pregnant, but both the mother and son threatened to kick her out if she did not get the abortion, according to court documents. Early this year, Idaho passed a law preventing adults from taking minors across state lines for abortions without a parent's permission. The family of a Washington man pushing for Oregon lawmakers to enact a law forcing people into treatment for severe addiction or substance abuse. Ricky's Law took effect in Washington back in 2018 and was named after Ricky Klausmeyer Garcia. He used his own story of addiction to advocate for forced treatment in severe cases. Earlier this year, Ricky relapsed and went to Oregon to avoid treatment. He later came back to Washington to get help, but ultimately died in a treatment facility. Earlier this year, Oregon lawmakers did propose a bill for involuntary commitment for severe addiction, but it didn't get